This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, very good morning and good evening, everyone. Welcome back. So last session, we were doing the project-related development, right? So we'll just proceed the same thing. So let me open. Okay, so here we are trying to do the deployments from here, right? So let's go to the releases. So since yesterday we destroyed the cluster and now we are recreating it again. So I'm just going to go for create a release once again, and just goes and connects and deploys the front end. Okay, so you have it. So K9s, and you can see the front end which is getting created, and there is an error. Okay, so yeah, so host not found, that's fine. So we'll be deploying the catalog, then that error will go away. And now the catalog release, before catalog, better go with MongoDB, create a MongoDB release. So MongoDB came to running, which is fine. And the next one is actually going to be is catalog. So these are the three components which we created yesterday. Okay, so that part is also done, and catalog is kind of coming up. And you can see that. So it is came to running, but it is not ready. By basically is some kind of health check we are doing, right? So if the health check is completed, then only it will come to running. So now front end is actually the kind of crash to back off. So we can just kill this particular pod. So no new one will be created, and the new one will have the catalog service, right? So how can I kill the bodies? You can use this editor, this utility Control K to kill. I'm pressing Control K. So you kind of, it's coming into running now. All right, I'll go to the SVC. I will second. SVC, and probably you can see the endpoint, right? So you can just go there and hit it on the browser. So you can see the categories. Now the pieces which are missing, okay, here is I'll try to register and probably I'll say local.com, then Raghu, and then Raghu. The piece will not work. Why? Because so there are other services which are in there which will not work. Okay, so that's the reason. So we will need to set up those particular things. Okay, and according to our diagram, so if you see the next one is login service. Login service depends upon two things. One is MongoDB. So now you can see this is the user service is actually talking to MongoDB, and also it is talking to the Redis service. So first we have to set up those particular components there. Okay, so first MongoDB is already there. So now the Redis actually we can go for a stateful set and things like that. Okay, so I will go for RoboShop catalog, RoboShop frontend, RoboShop MongoDB. So I will just take this K8, copying here, and I will put it to Redis. Okay, I will go there, and I have Redis, and just see this. Now the service is actually going to be Redis, and Redis, and then Redis, or probably you can do a whole search and replace. So you go for Mongo and replace it with first of all, let's go with MongoDB, replace it with Redis. It's gone. And again, now go for Mongo and replace it. Okay, Redis. You're done. So it's been doing that. And what there's a port actually, Redis port 6379, right? So 6379 and 6379, and so the selector is this, which is fine. Stateful set Redis, and it is Redis, and provider everything is Redis, and service name also we are getting Redis. And since service name we are getting Redis, but the service name, why service name came into picture? Because since this is a stateful set, yeah, that's okay. And so you're actually putting to service name is Redis. Okay, you have Redis here. Replica is also one, and these again the labels. Termination, some grace period is there, 10 seconds. And in between one part to another part, if you want to terminate, so graceful termination period is going to be taking 10 seconds. Now finally K0 Redis, and so the port number is 6379, and probably yesterday I didn't use resources, might be. So here I can go for resources, and this is going to be limits. Limits are going to be is memory is actually going to be 512 MI. Okay, so CPU is actually going to be 250 millicore, right? And the limits, and then also you can go for RAM. There are the limits, and request is also we can make it memory is so 512 MI, and the CPU is also 250 million. Okay, so just we can maintain both as well. All I need to know is this number, Redis number, okay, which I get it from here. Go to the pipeline. Go to the pipeline and go to the pipelines, and Redis. Redis we are not using. I think we are just using the public image. Okay, so which I would go with the Redis image. Okay, I don't have any custom, username, password, something like that. So that's where it's open. We'll use the public image. Okay, this is the one. Okay, and as a standard practice, we need to create a service account, and I would say here So service it's not here. So service account name is also going to be this. Okay, and the API version is actually going to be v1, and the kind is actually going to be service account, and the metadata and the name is actually going to be is Redis. Okay, so we create one service account. We don't have any access to give into that. Okay, as a standard practice, we're giving this. Okay, and what else we can thought of actually from the diagram? So stateful set, service, health checks. Probably a PVC is would it's okay if you give that. Okay, so but actually I'm not using a PVC. That's fine. Okay, so but I need to check it out if I use PVC where I need to mount it and all. I should know. Okay, so a little more work is involved. So for now, I'll just proceed with this. Okay, and okay, done. Now I need to do the deployment for this. I will go to the releases and I would just clone this. I would say Redis release and the source code doesn't really matter. I don't have, oh no, we have, it matters. So the source code is actually coming from Azure repos K0, and then it's from Redis, master branch. And so just go for the source code. Okay, and go here, and you have two tasks. One task is config, which is fine, and install MongoDB. Rather than that, I would say install Redis. Okay, so this is the one you're going to do that, and advanced you are going to run under a which is fine. So just save, click on OK, click on create. Now the Redis will be deployed. Cool, it deployed, and I'll go for pods, and you can see that Redis is running. Okay, cool, and the endpoint is Redis, right? Now I'll just go to the next service, which actually is user service, and we'll go to user service. Since it is a service, I would like to copy this from catalog, and I want to put it under user. All right. So now here, what is catalog? Replace it with user. Replace all. That's it. It's a deployment user, Node.js, RoboShop user, day1, Node.js, all labels, which is fine. Service account name is also user. So, but this number, where do you get that number? If I go to the pipelines, if I try to go to user, the previous run, I can pull that. Docker push, you're having 297. Okay, so 297. Okay, and the port actually it is going to be user is going to use which port number, I also don't know. Let's check from the so server.js file. It's actually going to open 7007 port. Okay, so that's where I would say here and open 7007 port number. So yeah, 7007 port number, and the limits is same. Liveness and readiness is actually going to be 7007. Okay, service account name and the service. So service is also again 7007 and the 7007. Okay, and the config map. So these require certain things, not only the Mongo. Okay, so it is a user's database, and along with that, So the server.js. So is there any other Redis also we do require, right? So MongoDB is what you have mentioned here. And the same way, the Redis underscore host is local host. So it's the variable it is expecting, and I will replace that with this user. Okay, now Redis. Okay, this much is needed, and I'm going to put that. Okay, so just push this. I'm going to create a release for this as well. Releases, and you can just go for catalog. Just clone this and change the source code from pointing to the right place. Here, K06 master. This code. So this is a failure. Okay, what is the reason for the failure? K, this doesn't exist. Okay, so did I not push the code user service? I pushed it. So we're not sure whether it is being pushed. Okay, let me check it out. You git push. The thing is pushed, it is saying. Okay, one more deployment. Okay, let's take a look. Here, I'll go to releases, user, click on edit. Here it is as code, and I go here, user service, advanced. You would be going under S code only. Okay, this is fine. But since it is saying that file doesn't exist, let's go to the repos and go to the user, and the user says K8, and there is an app.yml, and app.yml is having everything. Okay, go to the pipelines, releases, user. kubectl apply -f and that particular file name. Huh? Yeah, this is correct. So I just want to do some troubleshooting. I just want to check it out pwd and find a dot. Okay, I just want to find out what all the files I have there. I'll just say create a release. Let's see. So find dot is telling you have only this much. It is having makefile azure simple.sh. Where is, in which repo I have simple.sh? If I go to the repos, I don't have here. Which repo is having simple? I don't know. Let's cross verify this. I go to the pipelines now, releases once again, user service, click on edit. Which one I was pointing to? I'm pointing to K06 to again K806. Add repos. This is the one, and now it is done. So you can see the user service, it's just coming to running now. So the user service is running. All I need to do is I just need to go here and verify the logs of that particular one. Okay. So it is saying that, it is Redis connected and also MongoDB connected. So which I am okay. Okay. So yeah, and so since it is fine, let's come back to the UI, and I would say go here, Raghu, Raghu at the rate, Raghu at the rate local.com, and then I would say password is okay. I'm still not getting it. Okay, so let's take a log actually here, and we're not hitting here. So why? Because our Nginx actually is not updating the details, right? So let's go to config map of front end K8 app.yml. So at this point of time, it is only the one. Now I would say user should go to user. The port number is 7007. Okay. So since you made changes to the front end, you have to run the release of front end. The release of front end release. So front end create a release, create it, and also in the meantime, I can check config map and nginx conf file, and if I say YAML, we are currently seeing so API user as localhost, right? Let it complete. I think it's completed now. So let's go back, escape again, once again, just look the YAML file of this now. So now you see user as user. So since you see user as user and you want this particular configuration to be loaded by your pod, that's where you kill this pod and one more pod will come and one more pod will pull the latest changes. Okay, and we will be able to do that. Yeah. So now if I go back here, wait. Okay. And yeah, so if I hit this now, so click on register, I'm able to log in. Cool. My user service is working fine, right? And what next? The cart service. I go here, Click on add to cart. The cart is not working, and according to the diagram, if you see the cart goes with Redis. Okay, Redis is already there, so we can directly jump to the cart. I can go to copy my user K08 and I can put it to my cart. So since it is this, so yeah, search for user and replace it with the cart. Okay, so replace all. So let's cross verify. So here, this is fine. This is fine. This labels is also fine. Now cart some number we should be checking it out from. So where do I get that? Is I got from the pipelines, cart here, the job, Docker push 307. 307. Okay, and the port number for cart service, I can check it from the code. So I can check it from the code at the ending. 7000 is a port. Okay, so I would say cart is 7000 port number. Okay, so let's search for 7000 and replace 7007. Replace it with 7000. Okay, replace all. Done. And so config map. Config map, we need it. Yeah, I think we need. The Redis service. We need to go with that. Okay, that's fine. This is 307 and all goes okay. So the port is also fine for health checks. Service account is created, and here also the ports are also updated. The last one coming to here. So I think what the code is actually expecting is server.js. It is looking for a couple of things. Okay, it is looking for Redis. Yeah, first of all, it is looking for Redis underscore host, catalog underscore host. These two things it is looking for. So these two variables, Redis underscore host is already there, and catalog underscore host is catalog. Redis underscore host is already there, and catalog underscore host is catalog endpoint. Okay, so this much config map is what we needed. I go back to the releases, and I will come to user release, and I'll go for user, click on clone, and I will go for sco, delete this, and we'll be pointing to cart as cart. Cart as cart, and this as master, and this as code. That's it. And here. Create the release, and the release should be successful. Cool. And you can see that card is coming up. Okay, cool. And come back here, just here, and click on add to cart. Things will not work. Why? Because of front end again. Front end is an issue. So I would be going with front end, and I would say cart as cart now. Post this. Since you updated that, you have to update the release the front end once again. So front end actually, yeah. So that's okay. Create a create. Yeah, it's done. So I will go with killing the front end once again. Okay, and I will go to, now I killed the user, right? I killed the session of front end, but my user will not go away. You see this? If I click on login, my authentication is still there, right? So why? Because of the Redis in the backend, right? So without Redis, so probably so this will go away. This session will go away. Right? So that's the importance of Redis. Right? So maintaining the cache. Now this is okay. Go to the hall, click on add to cart, add it to cart. Super. Go to the cart and click on checkout, and ultimately the countries is filling, and that piece actually will be done by shipping service. Okay, you go with the shipping, and you go with the shipping here. All right. So the shipping is dependent on MySQL. So that's where I will go and set up MySQL first. Since it is a MySQL, I will go for copying the Mongo because it's a stateful set. I'll take K8 and here go with this. Okay, so here MySQL DB, sorry, MongoDB. Okay, replace it with MySQL DB. Replace all, and also Mongo. Replace it with MySQL. Replace all. That's it. And this is okay. This is okay. Port number is 3306 for this. I'll go for 3306. MySQL RoboShop, this one, and the stateful set is MySQL, this one RoboShop MySQL DB. That's okay. And this is service name is MySQL DB, which is also correct. And MySQL and RoboShop MySQL DB, which is correct. And here it is correct. Now here MySQL DB, so we have our own image. So that I can verify from the pipelines. So MySQL here job 303. So 303, and it's actually going to be 3306. And also I would like to write resources, and the limits is basically memory. Memory is what is the memory? What is the memory is some 512 MI. Okay, so depends upon the need, we can change that, but I'm just giving that. So 250 millicode I'll give 250 millicode, and limits request is also something like that. So memory is 512 MI, and CPU is 250 millicore. Okay, and this is what I have. Okay, and API version is V1, and the kind is actually going to be service account, and the metadata, and the name is actually going to be MySQL. Okay, so name is MySQL, and so here I'm going to go for and I will go for service account name, which is actually going to be MySQL. Okay, done. And what next I'm going to do is, so this require one username and password. MySQL require username and password. So that username and password, since it is a username and password, I want to configure a secret now. Okay, how do you configure secrets? So you go for API version, and it's gonna be :v1, and the kind is equal to secret, and the metadata is actually going to be not metadata. Yeah, metadata first of all. Metadata name is MySQL credentials and data. So data is actually going to be MySQL underscore root underscore password is, I want to put a password, but how do we generally put the password here? So MySQL, sorry, echo, and the password is like, let's say my pass @1, something like that. Okay, so base 64 if I give. Okay, so then whatever the things comes out, so this is the password. Anyone can decode that. Ideally, we don't keep the passwords in of secrets in Git repository. Ideally, we don't do that. Like I was showing you some yesterday, some scenario, so you store it somewhere else, elsewhere. Okay, we'll enhance that. We'll enhance that one by one. That's okay. So MySQL root password, and so this is the one. Okay, so this is the MySQL root password, and the same thing, it would be coming from here. So env, and so name is actually going to be MySQL underscore root underscore password, and the value from config map key reference, and the key is MySQL underscore root underscore password, and the name of the name of the secret is going to be is MySQL hyphen credentials. Okay, fine. Okay, so since it is pushed, I can go ahead and create a release and create a clone of any, which is okay, clone, and I would say here MySQL release. Okay, Mhm. Cool. It is done. So go to the K9s. So image will back off. So it's not MySQL DB. I think it's MySQL image. One small change here, which is here it is telling MySQL. It's done, and ultimately it get updated. K06-MySQL. Okay, let's cross check. K06-MySQL-:353. I didn't update it. I just killed it manually. Maybe it should come, I don't know. If I go inside MySQL, it is actually 353. So container, okay, config error. Okay, if I press B, it will show me the describe option. So what is the error it is telling is MySQL-cred is not found. Okay, and the credentials is secret MySQL-cred. Yeah, it's correct only. Oh, config map reference. Secret key reference. So in the meantime, I'll go to stateful set and I will just scale this to 0. It's fine. It can do that. Go to the pods. MySQL came up. If you want to go inside and check it out, also, I just pressed yes. You will go inside that MySQL -u root -p my pause capital P show DBS or show databases. So cities and cities is there. Yeah, cool. The database is there. No issues on that. Okay, so now I'll go to my shipping service. So since it is a shipping, it is a Java service. I need to copy it from somewhere. I will just take user service and go to shipping. Okay, so I will go to the shipping app.yml, and here it's gonna be a user. So replacing it with shipping. Okay, I'll replace all. And apps v1 deployment shipping and Node.js. It's not Node.js, it's actually Java based. So that means if I have Node.js anywhere and replace it with Java. Okay, done. Here rubber shop shipping Dave and his environment replica series 1 Java Dave. Okay, Java Dave, that's fine. And it's actually shipping service account name, and there's a shipping, and it is a shipping. We should know its bill number. Okay, so shipping. Docker push 304. Okay, and what is the shipping port number, by the way? So let's take a look in the code and main.java. So this 7005, the port number is 7005. So I need to update that. So 7005, replace all. Shipping, update this, and liveness, readiness, which is fine. And liveness, readiness, /health is available, no issues. Okay, this is okay. And this is also okay, 7005. And this requires some information and username and password as well, both. So now what all the things you do require here is as a variable. So here first thing is a card endpoint. So one you require config map, one you require secret, both the things you do require. Okay, so here it is given as API version v1 kind is the config map. Okay, metadata, the name is shipping -config -map. Okay, and the data is cart endpoint is actually no, cart endpoint is basically the cart port and the port number. Okay, so it's gonna be cart colon 7000 is the port number. Okay, done. And what's the next thing you do require is the DB host. Okay, where is your database? MySQL database. I have to provide that information. So DB host is actually going to be MySQL. Okay, so that's the endpoint service name. And also we can configure here basically the username and password of the application is actually configured in the code shipping and secret. So ideally this is not a good idea. So we can convert that into variables, and you can use from the it from secret as well. Okay, so what I would say here is it's actually going to be two things, which is MySQL underscore app underscore user is a variable. So just take this and go here, put this. Okay, so which is actually going to be is string format. Is a %, and the system environment variable is MySQL app user. And if it is null, MySQL app user is equal to null. I'll just mention that way. Or none, basically. Okay, so the same way, MySQL app user, MySQL app pass now. If I put that MySQL app pass, so just take this, and it's gonna be just a string. I would say %s, and here it is actually going to be the environment variable we look is MySQL pass. It's MySQL pass, and also give none. Okay. So these are the two variables, and I would like to put it through a secret now. So MySQL username is the user is shipping, and the password is secret. Okay, so echo -n shipping pipe base 64. Okay, so this much. Which you would be using is first I have to go with the config. Oh, this is also a config mapper. Secret, and the metadata is actually going to be name is MySQL app credentials. Okay, so and the data and this is the one which is MySQL underscore user underscore MySQL underscore app underscore user. Okay, this is the one. Okay, all right. And the MySQL underscore app underscore password is actually going to be a secret. Secret is secret. Let's say secret. You have this. And just bring that, put it here for now. Okay. And these two variables also you do require here. So I need to pass it from here. So probably environment from hyphen secret key reference, and the name is actually going to be shipping hyphen config hyphen map, shipping hyphen config hyphen map. Or else let's put shipping hyphen config. That's better. All right, this much I'm going to provide, and yeah, let's take a look how it goes. But actually, since you change the code, this require a new Docker image to happen. Okay, so that's you just need to wait for CI, a new CI, and since we modified the things, right, so it need to make a new build down. Okay, so what is actually doing the Docker build? And what the Docker file of this one is telling basically. So just upload the shipping.jar file to here. That's it. Just telling upload the shipping.jar file, but how you get the jar file and all is a question mark. Okay. So this is the old compiled file. So which I need to compile this properly now. Since I made the modifications to the code, I need to compile the code. Okay. So how would I compile the code? I can go to that system and just do that. Okay, so here I'll go to the repos. I will just go with shipping service. CD shipping. So sudo lab auto. I need to install Maven on the system because I want to compile. Lab auto. Select a tool to install. Okay, here I modified it. Okay. What are the tools? Or you can just install them. Sudo. Probably I'm just continuously talking, not really checking whether you're following. Anything, just do interrupt me if you see a gap there.
Yes, Raghu, I got a big doubt here.
Yeah.
So we have drawn the high-level diagram, right? The services connectivity and all in the here. So actually, I'm not. I don't have any idea on development side. So how will I get to know these service interfaces and all? Like this user has to communicate with the MongoDB and Redis, and shipping has to check with MySQL. So how will I get to know this information?
You'll get to know from the developer. So the developer will provide the information about your application and its dependencies. And when you do the configuration, so you ultimately communicate together and make the things. Yeah. Okay. So for an example, like let's say I would like to take this. So now so I'm trying to put the application inside something in my cluster. Like let's say a new cluster I'm migrating, and while I was migrating, you can see some of the services are crashing. Okay, so why it is crashing? So ultimately, I'll go there and take a look, right? So I'll just go here and take a look on the logs. And the logs is actually a lot of apps are there. I will go to the application log. So this is the one which is failing. I'll put the log. And what it is telling is it's missing an environment variables of some private key, some credentials of Redis password, and things like that. Okay, so these are being already configured at the development, in the development in the source code. They're expecting this. While you run it, you will face the issues. Okay, that is one approach. Or while you do set up the things, okay, you communicate and what are the things you need and things like that. So yeah, you will understand that. And also you will, in some cases, what they do is you usually provide the dev access to the developer, so they configure there and make it available. So by looking into that, you proceed with the remaining steps. While looking, you will come to know what all the components and things like that. Okay, so yeah, so
Okay.
yeah, so my Maven is installed and mv clean and package. What is error? So somewhere I messed it up while adding it. While adding the content, I messed something. MySQL is equal to string.format %s. So here also I have something %s, comma, system environment is not equal to null. System.env and colon. I think it's okay. So here is a space needed here. I don't know. In line number 54, it's telling here. What is the error telling? In line number 42.8, where is 42? Yeah. Forty-three 8 53 26. I don't see any problem. It's all good. It's all good. It's also good. Hmm. Ha, 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 ha. So no, that's also bad. No, why I'm thinking, okay, content point if it is not equal to null and okay, which is okay. Now what I'm thinking is, but there's also something I don't know. Let me check from the project actually which we have. Instana is the place where I put the code, right? I took the code, and if I go with shipping, subsemain shipping. Oh, we added so much code later. 22 days ago, 16 days ago. So main.java he cut now, or just ship.java. Oh, there is no main.java. Controller code repository code.java. So JDBC URL string, this one, db host is nothing but my, yeah, this is okay. This is what I'm thinking. String JDBC URL, string JDBC, and this is also I will keep like string. I would like to compare. I see some differences. So this is the one host not equal to null. Now my SQL. So it is given in the reverse order. But we are never getting the error for this JDBC URL. You are getting it for this. So I would say string, say string. I would say string. Let me see if that brings any luck. I don't know. Something is being changed. Okay. I don't know how it is detecting and all internally. So now you got a jar file. So cp target and shipping .0 this one shipping dot jar file ls rmf and rf. The target is not needed, clean it up. And now get add git space status, any changes? Yeah, only that. Git add shipping dot jar file and the git space commit hyphen and some message and the git space push. And to do that, probably in my home directory, token is there. Now git space push, it will ask for some credential. That's where this token can help me. It's pushing. All right, so since it is pushed, now it just triggers the go to the pipelines. You'll get a new file which is getting uploaded. Okay, so we need to keep that particular image there. And I see the pipeline shipping failed earlier. Why so? Shipping.jar file, no such file or directory. Let's see. Done. So 360. So since it is 360, come back here. 360. All right, go back to the releases, and now shipping is not there, right? So you can just clone any. So clone shipping shipping, and what is this? Shipping only, right? Okay, come back to this K9s. So the shipping is getting created. So I see it is started, and that needs to be updating the front end again once again. So I'll go to the front end app. So since the shipping, I have to hit shipping service 7000 port. Okay. Go to the releases once again, and then front end release. All right, and then I will go and kill this particular front end. That let it come up, and Just go back to the UI shop, just go to the login and come back from the starting cart. Click on checkout. I should be getting the countries. I'm not sure, it should not take this much time. So somewhere it is doing, it's hitting. The request went at least to the shipping service. So shipping service, let it fail or success. Let's see. Some changes we made to the code. We are not sure whether those gonna work or not. But definitely it will not take this much time. And it is telling that, okay, so this is the reason for the failure. So what is the reason for the failure? If you see some exception here. My system is kind of something wrong with the connection only. So that is something related to connection. This is bad. This guy didn't give a proper log. So it's all JDBC connection was the error. Schema is there, not a schema problem. The changes which we made is the issue. So MySQL app pass is secret. MySQL app user is shipping. Those variables went through, no issue. And my shipping service, if I cross verify, is actually going with the shipping config. So shipping config is having the information as MySQL, and so is it MySQL only? Okay, SVC. It is actually MySQL DB. This is the mistake, right? So our config map, okay, it has to be MySQL DB. Okay, push this. Let's try to redeploy once again. Go for releases, shipping, git release, periods. Here, kill Redis, bad. So I need to kill shipping. So go back to the login. Go back to the cart. Shopping cart is empty. The reason is you killed Redis. It lost cache. Okay. Okay, let's go back here. The hall, add to cart. Go to the cart. You have this. Just go for this one. Now we got a hit, but it should not take this much time. So it's supposed to be working, but let's take a look on that by going into the shell. So db underscore host is MySQL DB. No, still it is not working. I think it's an error out. All right. So that's something around the image. I think I'm not sure. We made some changes. We're not developers. Whether things works or not works, we don't know. So what I would like to do here is I will go with the old release only. So just go with the releases. Pipelines. I will go with the shipping and these 9 minutes, 10 minutes, 11 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes. I go 25th August. So what is the first version I have? I will use that only. So Docker build 304. Okay. So I can update it directly here. I can go to the deploy. So I can edit shipping. Yeah, 304. So it will just recreate the pod. All right, you got it. And I'll go back to the, just click on cart, click on checkout, countries. So that's where, so we did something we don't know. We're not professionals in Java to fix that. Probably no trial and error method I can make it, but that's not my job. So I will just move on. Enter location, and enter location is like let's say Sydney or something. Calculate, confirm, and what you do is click on pay now. The pay now will not work. Why? Because something which is around the payment service. Okay, it's a payment service. If you see the diagram, the last component is going to be payment. Okay, so all right, and how do we do this? So I will just take this, go to payment and paste here. And the payment depends upon RabbitMQ. Okay, I will make RabbitMQ and I will put it to RabbitMQ as well. Done. So I will go to the RabbitMQ. So RabbitMQ, we can go for deployment or stateful set. So stateful set is better. So that is where I will delete this file. I'll come from Mongo. So here it is, RabbitMQ, or let's say RabbitMQ is all. Mongo replace all. Everywhere RabbitMQ. Okay, and RabbitMQ port number, RabbitMQ port. Okay, so 5672, and it's gonna be 5672. It's gonna be 5672. RabbitMQ, and the stateful set RabbitMQ1, this one, and this is going to be 5672. And ultimately, I'm missing some resources here. I'll just go for resources, and limits is I'm using everywhere the same values. So just to avoid this, you can also go for a namespace level default resource configuration, right? Resource limit resources, resource limits. Okay, we already seen that how to do that. You can do that as well. But this is okay. and 250 millicore, and request is also same thing I'm making. And the RabbitMQ, do we have any image, or are we using the or did we use the public image on the other time? I go to the pipelines, and I would say RabbitMQ. I don't. So RabbitMQ and Docker Hub. I think RabbitMQ is fine. Okay, so the public image is actually going to be is RabbitMQ. You can add some service account also around that, which is fine. But I'll go with here, go to the releases, and I would say shipping clone this release. So it is the pipeline source code, delete this. And, this one. So you got RabbitMQ, and we'll be connecting to RabbitMQ now. Okay, so through payment service. So you go to the payment and go to the K08-2020-09-17-SESSION. So here payment, replace all, everything is fine. And payment, does it require any environment variables? Payment.py, cart underscore host, user underscore host. Two things it is expecting. So it doesn't might be require a secret. You can ignore that. And so here it's gonna be cart underscore host, user underscore host. So which is going to be user host is user, card host is card. That's it. And it's going to connect to RabbitMQ. RabbitMQ details are rabbitmq.py. MQP host is actually given as a local host, but MQP host is also something I'm going to add now, which is MQP host is also going to be RabbitMQ. And ultimately, I should be going to the pipelines and payment. Last one which was successful was here, no change. So that's where I'll use this 306. Sorry. Here and the port number for RabbitMQ. Port. The port is 7002. Okay, I will configure. Okay, I think all done. I can go to here, releases. I can go for here, create release, and finally it's gonna be not.
Raghu, what about the health checkup path?
Health check path is also same, right? All gonna be same. 7,002 quota. Okay. Save it. Okay. Create release, create it. Cool, succeeded. Come back here, you can see the payment is there, right? So locks this. Now I'll go back to here and here. I will go here. So just click on pay now. It's not working. It's supposed to be working, but it's not working. So the reason for that is the front end. Okay, front end is not actually sending the details to there. So I will just go to the K08 and this one. Actually, I should be going with a payment here. Okay, so push this. So since this is pushed, I will go with the releases and front end. Create a release. Okay, it's done. So that means I just need to go and kill the pod. And I'll go back to the logs of my payment service. Go back. Not needed. So click on pay now. It's kind of going to gray and now order received, which is fine. Okay, so now go to the click on login. You're seeing your order. So the whole app is being set up, right? So this is how so we have deployed our application, but this application needs some enhancement as we talked about. So what are the enhancements? We need to pull the logs to put it to ELK. Okay, that is one thing we wanted to do, and also so some standardization around that. So some ingress we can use, and you can do that. I think it's okay. That also is fine for now. So majorly, like tomorrow, we'll concentrate on ELK part. Okay, so how do we push the logs of this to an ELK? Every pod, I should see the log there. How can I do that? And you have some structured logging, unstructured logging. So tomorrow, the whole session around this is going to be how do we put the logs to ELK? It will take time, definitely. Okay, but how to do that and what all the changes required? So we will take care in the tomorrow session. Okay, that's the idea. So that's all for today. So we completed our application. So whole you're actually deploying over the to the Kubernetes, but you I mean, so you can do that in a better way. So these YAML fields, you can handle that in a better way. So that's where the help chart come into picture. So tomorrow we'll cover the ELK, and the Monday session will go with remaining topics. Okay. So when you open some and security related to the security, PSP also is there, for security policy. So we need to go with that. And I think at least 3 sessions I would be, so hanging around this particular one. And in the next 2 sessions, or probably 2 or 3 sessions, we'll go with the setting up our own cluster, and also the internal components, what we have in the master, and all the things, whatever you have done so far, we'll just come up with some flow diagrams. And when you did this, okay, you created the pod, okay, how the flow went through. So kind of some internal knowledge, okay. So, and also mostly I would be referring a book basically called as Kubernetes Kubernetes, what is that? Kubernetes PDF, not PDF. So Kubernetes book, which book? Yeah, Kubernetes in Action. So, so sometime back I went through this, and even if you want, actually you can read this particular book. And mostly we'll be talking about the context, not context basically. So at least I understood the internals from this book, I would say, a little bit more deeper. If you want, you can give a try, and he explains clearly what happens internally. So yeah, we'll take that and we'll talk about the internals. Okay, you created a deployment, what happens? You created a pod, what happens? Okay, and that's what we'll be talking about. So that's just agenda for next week. And once we are done with that, so probably mostly October first week, we may or may not complete, but if it just extends, like the next week, 1 or 2 days. Okay, I'm going in a little slow pace only. So yeah, we'll see how much we can. That's all from my side for today. Yeah, any questions? Okay, all right. No questions. We'll meet in tomorrow's session then. Okay, thank you. See you tomorrow. Bye. Good day. Good night.